No persons having received a majority of the whole number of votes cast by surname, a speaker has not been elected. A speaker has not been elected. Not been elected. A speaker has not been elected. Not been elected. Not been elected. A speaker has not been elected. Not elected. Not been elected. Not been elected. No member elect. A speaker has not been elected. The Honorable Kevin McCarthy of the state of California, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Welcome back. It really took that long. That wasn't even jump cuts. It took a historic 5 days and 15 rounds of voting before the U.S. House of Representatives was able to elect that new speaker. As you heard, Republican Kevin McCarthy won in the early morning hours. That was just yesterday, but not before he offered several concessions to the party's hard right. Joe Walsh is a former Republican congressman from Illinois, and he was also a 2020 Republican presidential candidate. And former Congressman Joe Walsh joins us this morning. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you.
So the longest speaker's election since 1860, 15 rounds. What do you make of what you saw, what we all were watching this week in the House?
Big picture view, it's just the latest example that one of America's two major political parties is completely off the rails. And it remains what this has been since Donald Trump got elected in 2016. This is Trump's party. This is now a mega party, and that's a chaotic, dysfunctional thing.
Kevin McCarthy had to make a number of concessions in order to get this victory. I mean, I won't go through all of them, but the one that seems to me to be problematic going forward is that a single lawmaker could vote to oust the speaker at any time. What do you make, first of all, I guess, of the concessions that he had to agree to in order to get this job?
Two things always jumped out at me this past week. Why didn't Kevin McCarthy engage in these negotiations before January 3rd? I mean, this was a family fight in essence, right? One political party trying to determine their leader. Why didn't they have this fight in closed doors instead of in public? Yeah. And what happened was, because they had the fight in public, as you mentioned, the speaker is incredibly weakened. Kevin McCarthy, who I served with and I know, is a weak guy. He's an untrustworthy guy. And everybody figured he'd probably end up becoming speaker because he's willing to give away anything to get it. And that's pretty much what happened.
So what does that mean for actually getting business done? If there are all these different concessions made and still six Republicans who are holdouts for supporting McCarthy, what is the likelihood that anything's going to get accomplished here?
It means that what we saw this past week is just the tip of the iceberg, and we are in these next 2 years for absolute chaotic hell in the House of Representatives. This may sound like an odd take, but I said at the beginning of the week on another network, I really don't think it matters which Republican is the speaker, because this is now a mega party. This is now a Trumpist party, and whoever the speaker is was never going to be able to stop all the crazy things that these House Republicans want to do these next 2 years. So it's going to be absolute chaos.
What were you surprised that Donald Trump was sort of pulling strings from behind the scenes, trying to get people to support McCarthy on the phone Friday night, trying to get people to rally around him? Was that surprising to you?
No, because I guess for a few reasons, because all Trump cares about is Trump. So he wanted to be able to claim credit. But Trump was in kind of a tough bind because it's Trump's base that really opposed McCarthy, and these 20 who opposed McCarthy Donald Trump pretty much got them all elected. So he was in kind of a funny spot, but he wants to be at the front of the parade, and he wanted to be able to claim credit, which he can now do.
Does that, though, indicate to you that the Republican Party is more split than perhaps you're suggesting here, that it's not just a Donald Trump party, that there are, many fractures within, and then that's going to be difficult moving forward past the midterms?
No, because when I say it's the Trump party, I mean it's the party of Trumpism. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a Trump disciple every bit as much as Lauren Boebert is. They were on opposite sides of this McCarthy thing, but they will be joined at the hip on every other crazy thing that Republicans want to do. Investigate Hunter Biden's laptop, put Dr. Fauci in jail. It's not just these 20. Jim Jordan, Marjorie Taylor Greene, most of this caucus now that the McCarthy fight is over, they're all going to be together. It's about 150 of them on all of the extremist investigatory stuff that they want to do.
What do you think the president should be concerned about here? I mean, obviously he knew that he didn't have the House and that it would be a split Congress, but given the chaos of the past 7 days, what should the president be concerned about in terms of his own agenda?
Well, and I don't want to sound overly political, but if I'm the president and the Democrats, this presents a great opportunity for them. Which is good for the country as well. We're going to have 2 years of Republican chaos in the House. Extreme stuff, crazy stuff in the House. Democrats and Joe Biden can kind of just tell the American people, look what's going on, and present common sense, middle of the road solutions to actual problems the American people care about. The other thing here is, remember, these Republicans aren't going to have any legislative agenda. All they want to do is investigate Democrats. The American people are not going, they're going to recoil against that. So if I'm Biden and the Democrats, I'm just trying to sound like an adult, and I'm trying to offer common sense solutions these next 2 years, because the goal is to try to win in 2024 to remove this extremist party from the House.
Do you think that could result, Mr. Walsh, in Republicans teaming up with Democrats in some instances?
They're going to have to. That's what's fascinating. They didn't have to with this McCarthy speakership battle, but when it comes to things like extending the debt limit, funding the government, passing budgets, you can bet your bottom dollar that there are going to be 100 or so Republicans that won't support any of that. So that means with this slim majority, again, Kevin McCarthy and the moderate Republicans are going to have to partner with Democrats and probably give away a lot to do it.
Do you, as a former Republican congressman, see yourself in that party still, or do you see a place for yourself in that party? Just tell me what you're thinking about the state of your party.
No, I'm a conservative. Liz Cheney is a conservative. I realized a couple years ago, there's just no room in this party for me anymore. It's no longer the conservative party that I was a member of Congress and always in. Liz Cheney privately knows there's no room in this party for her. Adam Kinzinger, a good friend of mine, knows that privately as well. And I don't think that this party is going to change anytime soon. So my hope is that eventually here, there will be actually another major political party in America that will be a home for moderate and reasonable conservatives.
Who would be the face of that party, do you think?
I can't predict anything anymore. Oh my God, look at what's gone on in this country the last 7 years. I don't know, but I think it's going to happen because this Republican Party is not going to change.
Joe Walsh, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for making the time. I appreciate it, sir.
Good to be with you.